EGM Network.
Treasure Coast Connector. Connecting residents and businesses of the Treasure Coast. And here's your host, Ellen Contreras.
Welcome to Treasure Coast Connector. I'm your host, Ellen Contreras. This episode is proudly sponsored by Libby Weissman and her team at Senior Transition Navigator and Luxury Homes of the Treasure Coast. They help seniors and their families navigate transition into senior living with many services, including downsizing and decluttering, packing, moving, relocation, real estate sales, and more. For a free consultation, give them a call at 772-783-2800 or visit seniortransitionnavigator.com or luxuryhomesofthetreasurecoast.com. Money is a cruel mistress. If you ignore her, she will leave you for someone else. I saw an interview by Cody Sanchez, and she said this. She's a multi-million-dollar entrepreneur, and this holds true for everyone, especially business owners. You need to look at more than your bank balance to run a successful business. Joining me in the studio today is Shyrell Copus. She is the founder, tax prepare extraordinaire, and accountant. Her company, Shyrell's Tax LLC. She has a lot of amazing information to share with us today, including her nonprofit, Artie's Mission, which we'll learn all about as well on today's episode. So welcome back to the show.
Oh, thank you, Ellen.
Yeah, so I just had to say that you are the queen of all things tax preparation. Okay, because you and I have known each other for a while. You were on this show a few years ago, and every time I chat with you, you can't help it. Your brilliance comes out.
Oh,
like the things that I have learned from you, and so much so that if anybody says to me, I need help, it's like, well, you need Shyrell, you know?
Thank you so much.
So yes, absolutely. And I already told you that, my tax guy, if he retires or moves to Bali, you're my tax gal.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
thank
absolutely.
You very much. Well, I hope he doesn't pass away because I get clients that way too.
I know. But people do retire and things.
Yes,
and
we do.
But yeah, so now before we get started talking about the tax services that you offer and all of the ways that you help business people, what made you even get into this field and then actually start your own company?
Oh my goodness. I got into this field a long time ago, back in the 80s.
When you were 10?
When I was about, 5 or 10. And I was working for some attorneys here in town.
Okay.
When I say here, I mean Fort Pierce. And I thought I was going to be doing a lot of legal stuff. But apparently they figured out I know numbers, and they would say, oh, no, hand that to Shyrell. She can figure that out.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I got thrown into the tax world way back in the 80s. So, yes, I guess I've been doing this for a pretty little minute. So that's how I learned. Not only did I learn from being so young and getting into this so young, but I've worked for some of the biggest attorneys and accounting firms in this country.
Yep. Well, and then you said, nope, now it's my turn to just make my own way into the business world.
Well, I was tired of making money for them, and I thought, well, it's time to make money for me.
Good for
and
you.
all my people. Help me help you keep your money.
I love that. As a matter of fact, I wrote that in the, because people are listening to this on iHeartRadio and the podcasts,
Wonderful.
But we film it, as you know, so that's on, the graphics. It's the help me help you
Keep your money.
Yeah, keep more of your money. Oh my gosh.
That's right.
So we are at the start of tax season. As we film this, we are nearing the end of January. I can't believe it. So it's going to come out on iHeartRadio in February. So are there any new tax laws or anything that you would like people to know when preparing their personal and business taxes?
Oh my goodness, yes. So of course, tons of things. Especially when you're a business, or not just a business, but when you're a contractor. You get a 1099. You have business expenses. You have things that you don't realize that are expensible on your taxes. And people miss out on a lot of things. So if you don't know the tax laws, you can miss out on things that you qualify for. And a lot of things that have changed this year that are going to be in effect this year and for last year already. Now you're already past 24.
Yeah, you mentioned that when we had lunch yesterday. Joe's All-American Tap Room. Let's give him a plug. Isn't that a great place?
Yes,
I really like that place on State Road 60 across from the courthouse in Vero Beach. But you were saying that, you can no longer, expense these types of lunches?
Yes, and that's been a big thing, as you probably well know.
I really was not aware.
Yeah.
I was not aware.
No more entertainment. None. Zilch. Zero. Meals are back down to 50%.
Okay.
So I'm sorry, all my clients that I currently have, if Shyrell isn't paying for our coffee and our lunch anymore, that's probably why.
Mm-hmm.
So I've let my clients know and my work associates and my team know that I'm sorry if we're coming out to lunch or coming to breakfast or coffee or whatever, but this is why Shyrell's not paying today, because the IRS is not allowing me to write half of this off. And if I do pay, it's just out of the kindness of my heart.
I was going to say that there are times where somebody might say, yeah, I'm going to grab that person's coffee or lunch or whatever. But yeah, so and that's the thing. We want to keep ourselves out of trouble. And we're definitely going to get into that. As a matter of fact, that's our next question. It's a great segue. Because the commercials that come out, okay?
Yes.
So now for someone who is an employee, maybe they only have one job, because sometimes people have more than one job, but they have one job, they get that one W-2 at the end of the year. And maybe they don't have a lot of investments or multiple homes or different things.
Exactly.
Going to, a
Free
tax
file,
preparer.
IRS.
Yeah. Or, going to one of the, well, no, what I meant was like one that you do it yourself.
Yes.
Okay. So that's okay.
Called self-prepared.
Yeah.
And you don't realize what you're doing to yourself when you self-prepare. You're bringing all that responsibility on yourself.
Mm-hmm. And then if you make a mistake.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, it's really bad to leave money on the table, but I think it's worse to make a mistake, because then you get caught up in the IRS, web, and then you've got to pay a lot of fines and interest and things like that.
Yes, you do.
But I really want to impress, especially on the new business people. We're at the beginning of the year. People are excited. They launch a business or a side hustle, and you're talking about the 1099s. Mm-hmm. And they figure, I can just continue to prepare my own taxes. When I started my business, the very first year of my LLC, that's when I stopped doing it, because I didn't even want, and I don't want to mention these other names. I wanted somebody like you, a private, independent tax expert, to do my taxes.
Yes.
I don't want to poo-poo other things. I don't want to name names, but I really think that you are worth your weight in gold.
Oh, thank you.
Because you are constantly looking at what's changing.
Yes, ma'am. Me and my team. So I learned from a Congressional Medal of Honor recipient, the only one living in Sebring, Florida, where I just got to go to a Medal of Honor very special event, which we'll talk about in a little while.
Okay.
But anyway, just to let you know, I feel the same as he does. I am not as good as my team makes me. So without my team of professionals, we're all certified, educated, and we're confidentiality certified as well.
Okay.
So without them and all the knowledge we put together, there's probably almost 100 years.
Wow.
Yes, 100 years of educated experience, certifications on my team.
Yeah.
So we have enrolled agents, CPAs. If you don't know what an enrolled agent is, they learn all their tax from the IRS, right from the IRS.
Okay.
So enrolled agents, CPAs,
you can't
and not
get
all
any
CPAs.
more expert than that, right?
That's right. How can you get any more expert than learning right from the IRS?
Yeah.
So, and a lot of people don't realize that a lot of CPAs don't even do a tax return, and they don't even know. Well, I don't want to say they don't know how, but they don't want to know how.
Okay.
So,
well, yeah. So some CPAs, we, like every industry, there's niches, and maybe somebody's a CPA, and their niche is manufacturing, and they just so they don't necessarily prepare taxes. They're doing something else.
They'll outsource that to people like me.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it, and so, but what are some of the major mistakes that you see people making when they try to go it on their own?
Well, a lot of times I see people, first of all, filing the wrong way. When I say that, I mean they file head of household when they're not the head of household of anyone and they're actually single.
Oh.
I see that a lot. You'd be so very surprised how many people file head of household and they are actually single. They have no dependents to be able to file head of household.
That's all. Okay, now I understand.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they just thought, I'm single, I'm the only one, so I'm head.
Yeah.
I'm the head.
I'm the head of the household.
Yeah.
And I've asked people that filed that way, I said, really? Well, who are you head of household of? Wow. And they look at me like, wow, oh my goodness, I didn't think about that. I don't have any dependents. I said, exactly. You can't be the head of household of a household if you don't have anyone to be the head of.
Yeah.
So the IRS says, no, hold on, you're single. And I guess you all probably know, if you don't know, that us single people, we pay the most tax in this country. So the standard deduction is the highest for the single.
Yeah.
So a lot of people would love to file head of household or, of course, married filing jointly because that's the biggest standard deduction. A lot of people don't even understand what a standard deduction is.
Yeah.
They just want to write off everything. It's time to do my taxes. Let me just write off everything. Well, first of all, a standard deduction, if your income, let's just say, for example, is $50,000 and you're married filing joint, let's just say the standard deduction is $25,000. So automatically, if you're married filing joint, your income is $50,000. You're going to get a standard deduction because the IRS knows we have to pay bills. They know we have to pay rent and electric and things like that. So you get a standard deduction of $25,000. Let's just example. Now your income has been reduced to $25,000. So you're only going to pay tax on that $25,000 after your deduction, unless you have other deductions that override the standard.
Oh, okay.
Now, if you have more deductions than $25,000, just say that's the standard, for example. Well, then we're going to do not the norm. We're not going to do the standard. We're going to start itemizing. And that's when your itemizing deductions come into play.
Yeah.
So I see those two things a lot. Another thing I see, believe it or not, people filing separately when they're married.
So why do they do that?
So a lot of times people do that because they think, well, you know what? I don't want my other person to receive any refund. Or sometimes they think, well, they have more problems than I do, and I don't want to be responsible for their tax. But always remember that the married filing joint, they qualify for the bigger tax breaks. They qualify for the bigger standard deduction. They qualify for things that other people do not qualify for. Yeah. So when you file married filing separately, you're basically filing as a single person. So
now what if one person is, I can't believe we have to take a break already. Wow. Unbelievable. We love to chat, you and I.
Yes, we do.
But you know what? All right. We're going to take a break. But before we do, I know Cindy what is your phone number and your web address for Shyrell's Tax?
772-999-5589. That's here in Vero. And my web address is ShyrellsTaxLLC.com.
Very good. And it's SHYRELLS Tax. LLC.com.
Yes. Thank you for spelling that.
Very good. Yes, because there's different ways to spell.
My name is weird. Yes.
Shyrell. No, it's a pretty name.
Thank you.
And with that, we have a lot more to discuss. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Big news, Treasure Coast. Your favorite mortgage team just got even better. Introducing the same trusted faces you know and love, now with Union Home Mortgage.
Hi, this is Shannon Pohl.
Hi, this is Lucy Kranker. And these high-producing team members bring decades of experience, unwavering honesty, and hearts of gold to every home loan. And here's the best part. Same local processing, underwriting, and appraisers you rely on. Contact Union Home Mortgage.
Visit us online at shannonpohl.com
and lucycranker.com.
The Garden Club of Indian River County presents Garden Fest, one of the largest garden shows in Florida. Admission and parking are free, rain or shine. Garden Fest, February 1st from 9 till 5 and February 2nd from 9 till 4 at Riverside Park, Vero Beach.
Sturgis Lumber is the county's most trusted hardware store. Sturgis stocks stainless steel products, power tools, construction and painting supplies, propane, plumbing, and electrical parts. 4645 US 1 Vero Beach, Sturgis Lumber and Hardware.
At Sunshine Furniture, our 35,000 square foot showroom is filled with the largest selection of in-stock coastal furniture on the Treasure Coast. Dining and bedroom sets, occasional tables, sofas, sleeper sofas, love seats and chairs in all the latest styles and colors from Tommy Bahama, Lexington, Hooker, Riverside, Universal, Four Seasons, Braxton Color, and Capri. We're the outdoor furniture experts and have hundreds of styles of any patio furniture you need, including a gallery of Berlin Gardens and Bollywood. We specialize in fire pits, outdoor rugs, umbrellas, and replacement cushions. Sunshine Furniture, 1295 US 1 in the Publix Plaza, Vero Beach. Family owned and operated since 1991. Don't forget to visit our outlet store directly across the street, filled with lots of name brand closeouts and sale items. Visit our website at sunshinefurniturecasual.com.
Sunshine Furniture, the best in every way. Have a sunshine day. Sunshine.
Welcome back to Treasure Coast Connector. I'm your host, Ellen Contreras, and I'm with Shyrell Copus of Shyrell's Tax LLC. And we were just having this great conversation. And I think as people are listening, I think they realize that, you know, the more things that you have, investments and properties and different things, as even if you're an employee, and then especially if you have a side hustle or a business or whatever, don't go it alone, because, oh my goodness, I sleep at night knowing that I'm not doing this anymore because, wow, you know, it's too much.
Too much.
But it's not too much for you and your team.
No, we love this stuff.
Yeah. You just, you know.
We have a lot of clients right now who are in quite the trouble because of self-preparation with those other tax softwares.
Okay.
Who are veterans, who are elderly, who are just everyday normal people who had 1099 contracting jobs, who are in quite the mess for self-preparation, who owe thousands and thousands, over $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, $100,000. Yes, because the other softwares allowed them to self-qualify for things they really should not have qualified for, and have also let them not tax income that should have been taxed.
Oh.
Yes. So be careful self-preparing.
Yeah.
And you're probably surprised that a tax office here right now is telling you about the free file on IRS. So the IRS is now letting taxpayers free file themselves on their website. Just because you free file on the IRS tax website does not mean that you're getting help from the IRS.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that makes sense.
You are still 100% responsible for that file.
Yeah, even if you think you're doing everything right.
Yes.
That's the problem, because there's always people that are going to try and cheat and stuff. But even the people that think, okay, I've got this, I think I understand this, I'm doing this correctly, and then they're not.
That's right.
Oh, and then they get that letter, you know.
The letter. Oh. The CP 2000 from the IRS.
Yeah.
Wow, this is not a bill.
I don't know about, I've never gotten that.
Oh my, well, good for you,
I don't
Ellen.
want that. That's why I work with.
Because it says right on there in big black bold letters, this is not a bill. We're just proposing this might be a bill later. So, you know, if you can't answer that letter correctly, woo. Yeah.
And that is why I don't try to do this myself. Okay, so now in addition to the tax preparation services, what other services do you offer?
Oh, well, so we also offer bookkeeping, accounting, business setup. We will give you a tax plan, which is very expensive, of course. A tax plan helps you before you ever start spending your money. It is certified. So we will look over all of your finances. We'll look at your past tax returns, of course. If it says tax, we do it.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Very good.
If it says tax, we do it.
So now I want to make sure we leave enough room for Artie's mission. This is a nonprofit, very near and dear to your heart.
Yes, it is.
So what would you like to share about Artie's mission, any of the latest and greatest of what's happening and how people can help you?
Awesome. So Artie's Mission, Inc., you can go to www.artiesmission.org and you can check out our website and see all our wonderful kids and our students, because what we do is we teach character development.
Yeah.
Let me say that slowly.
Yeah, because
to
that's
the community.
missing now.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Very much so. You'd be surprised at the character that people do not have these days. COVID threw us into being in isolation and by ourselves and all this stuff.
You hear it from the teachers.
Oh, you do.
They're pulling their hair out of their heads.
Yes. So what is character? Well, what is character? That's honor, commitment, those kind of words that you don't learn these days that we really need to have in society.
Yeah.
Integrity, citizenship, those kind of words. So those are the words we teach. I kick off my shoes. I get barefooted. Yes, me and my board directors, we teach the class and we just have fun.
That is good. So you make it interesting. The kids are engaged,
Yes, we do.
and kids want to do the right thing. And
they do.
And they respond really well to leadership
they
and
do.
guidance. And
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
So they want that sense of stability, continuity, discipline even.
Yes, they
Loving
do.
discipline.
Yes.
Yeah. I just want to say that. But Artie, tell me about.
So Artie Ray Copus happens to be my dad. He was killed in Vietnam when I was 5 months old in the Vietnam War. Thank you very much. He is the 23rd Medal of Honor recipient of Florida.
Wow.
And the only Medal of Honor recipient for St. Lucie County, Fort Pierce, where I was born and raised. So very special, to my heart because of that.
Yeah.
I never got to know my dad. He was killed before I ever got to meet him or, know him. But I know him through all the people that
Your
knew
mom
my dad.
and all of the family and friends and everything.
And believe it or not, I have got to speak to some of the guys that my dad saved their lives.
Wow.
Yeah, some of the veterans that my dad saved their lives. They can't say enough good about my dad. He was only 19 years old when he gave that day.
Yeah.
And, this day and time, 19-year-olds are quite different. If we're blessed and lucky enough to learn and be with someone like my dad, and I'm not just saying that because he's my dad. He's just a very special, different person, and always had others in mind.
Yeah.
He always wanted to help people. One of those kind of people that would just stop on the side of the road and just help people. So quit school to help people and help his family. And of course, left this country to go to another country to help people there.
To help them,
Yes.
And so that's why I think that the work that you're doing with children today is so important. And
Thank you.
your dad would love that.
Thank you.
And, you grew up obviously without knowing your dad, but you had that character development instilled from your dad into you through your family.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so I love that about Artie's mission, and I know we only have 2 minutes left, so very quickly what I want to do before we wrap up with you is I want to mention again that this episode is proudly sponsored by Libby Weissman and her team at Senior Transition Navigator and Luxury Homes of the Treasure Coast. They help seniors transition into glorious senior living, providing amazing services. And you can learn about this by visiting seniortransitionnavigator.com, luxuryhomesofthetreasurecoast.com. You can call Libby at 772-783-2800. So now circling back with about a minute and a half, what would you like to touch on as we wrap up the show? You know what? Again, actually, your phone number and your website, and then what would you like to touch on?
So my office number is 772-999-5589. If you know where the courthouse is in Vero, you're not far from me. Just come on over and give us a visit. ShyrellsTaxLLC.com, ShyrellsTaxLLC.com.
Very good. Yep. So we have about 30 seconds out of that minute. What else would you like to say? I just want to tell people, don't rip your hair out, get a good night's sleep, and you can do that by seeing Shyrell and getting your taxes done by her.
Help me help you keep your money.
I love that. I love that. Yeah. And yeah, you're going to be burning the oil, the midnight oil late, right? You
yes.
work.
Yeah. We work all kind of hours. Contact us. We're late, early, whatever. We try our best to accommodate our clients.
Very good. And with that, thank you so much for being on this show. And for everyone listening and watching, my name is Ellen Contreras, host of Treasure Coast Connector. I hope everyone has a safe, productive, wonderful week. And until next week, I miss you already.